So I did Goldilocks and the 3 bears. And then I chose the color scheme of like pink, and then I substituted one of my colors for gray because the version that I did was like an older English version where Goldilocks is actually like an old woman, and she's the one who like breaks into the house. And I chose pink for the bears because in this story the bears aren't really ravenous. They're more sweet. You know, they're just going out. You know, they're going out for the day, and so she kind of broke in. So how I developed the old woman is I was trying to figure out like a hairstyle, and then I was starting out with like this kind of a style, but then I decided that was more of like a pawn shape, and she wasn't really a pawn in this story. She was more like the main character. She was making her own decisions to break into the house, and so I was going with like kind of a hairstyle that represented her personality a little bit. So I went for more like the sharper edges to show that she's, you know, not super sweet. She's not like a sweet little girl. And then I was kind of like messing around with the shapes to figure out what I wanted to do for a bear. I was thinking about like having like the bear with ears, and then I ended up kind of on this shape here. And then since I gave the old woman kind of like a whole body, I also decided to give the bears a body and like a little bit of a face just to kind of represent, like they're sweet, they have a sweet face. And then I was trying to set up the scene of how I wanted her to like first decide to like go into the house. And I know that they live in the woods, so I kind of like messing around with like colors of trees and bushes and like maybe like a light, like the sunlight shining on the trees. And so I ended up with this. And so you kind of have like, you can see, she sees that like the doors open and the lights are on. So you see that's like, I kind of went like the light right there just so that it's kind of like it's tempting her, like go in there. So, and then that's her going in with like the little light from outside in the woods. And so I was trying to figure out how I wanted her to try out like with the porridge. So I was trying out like different shapes there with like a simple, just one little line that I just, you know, repeated. And then I was trying to figure out like how I wanted the beds, and since I kind of wanted the same theme, so I went with like the crescent moon here. I was kind of keeping that same theme throughout like their whole furniture through their house. So that's how I went with the bed and with the old porridge. Also with like the chairs, you know, she sits on, she breaks. And so I kind of went with this as like the final scene for that. I kind of split it so she can see all the things that she's doing, like while she's there alone. She tries the crescent porridge, and then she breaks the little chair. And then this was my final scene for the bears, like discovering her. She's sleeping in the bed, and like, so I changed it so you can see it's like that way. And you see the lights, so like they're like, what's going on? There's a woman in her bed. So yeah, and that's it. Carlin.
I thought that you did a really good job of presenting. Like, you were really calm and you listened like you were talking about.
Thank you, Chris.
On the same subject, I thought you went. I thought you went really fast through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't spend very much time on slides like 6 through 9. You
Okay.
just kind of clicked right through them, and I didn't really get to look at all the details.
Del?
I really like all the pictures how you put together to make a shape, but I would be more interested to see how you did it, like how you made the shapes in order to make the form, like the chairs. You can show us. I would like to see how you got to that point because it's very interesting how you used it together.
Okay. Kel?
I was really, really impressed with the way that you composed some of your scenes, like especially number 6 really stands out to me. Like I was really impressed like with the way that you used shadows and how you talked about like the light coming from the house is tempting her. I thought that was really neat, like the way that you had the light cast on the shadows from the other way. And I think that your process where exemplifies like how you built the characters really, really well. So I was really impressed with that.
So thank you.
Yeah, I think there's good process work, and we see the shapes and the characters. I think Del is right though, in a couple of things you'd like to see a little more of the process of how you got there. we ended up with some really nice things. There's a definite style going through it all, but it's fun to see exactly the shape you put together all the time, et cetera.
So like a
Oh, maybe like for
like
the porridge
see-through
scene.
image or something?
Yeah, or you could just show, Chris used a thing where just the outlines of all the shapes were superimposed. I've also seen it done where the pieces are kind of spread out, but sort of in the area they're gonna go, like you pull the half moon down and the other parts of the beds and things
Okay.
out. Just a little bit more showing the process there would be good. But I think what really stands out on this is there's a thoughtfulness about the use of things like lighting, which many people don't even think about making that part of creating the style and the continuity between the slides. Do you have some more comments and questions here? There are a couple of little things that I think definitely need to be tweaked. Do you find any of those?
Maybe for
Is there any slide you want me to like there?
Yeah, the one, 7,
This one right here?
yeah, it's really, like, I like the objects in it, but maybe put like a background or not like on the background, but like a horizon line or something, like, show.
Just a bit